This is The Passion of Cashin, where we share inspiring stories and expert advice from leaders in the lawn care, pest control, and landscaping industries. Join us for insights and lessons from industry visionaries on their paths to success.
I'm super excited to have with us today Colin. Colin is the owner of a fantastic company out of Montana. I'm excited he's going to share with us a little bit about his journey. So Colin, why don't you just start out by telling us a little bit about when did you get bit by the entrepreneurial bug and where are you from? Give us the background.
Well, first of all, I love the name of the podcast.
Okay.
I think that's cool.
I had a guy years ago said, you should use your last name Cashin. He said, The Passion of Cashin, and it kind of stuck with me. I'm hoping people are going to remember it.
I like it.
Thank you.
I grew up outside of Boston, and I went to school in a small business school in Rhode Island. I studied finance. And then after graduating, I didn't want to have a job in finance in the city, so I moved out to Montana to go ski for a winter and never left. That was back in 2013. And then I waited tables for a year and I skied every day. And then I started a small janitorial business and we grew that for 4 years and then sold it. And then I thought I'd have, Bozeman was a small town back then. And so I thought I'd have a handful of small service companies and we'd have a back-end office to take care of them. And so at that time, I started a mold remediation business, and then I bought Yard Guard. It was one guy, one truck, and he'd been doing it in Livingston, the next town over, for 25 years or something, and he was retiring. And so for about a year, I ran both businesses and realized that running two things, you suck at both of them, and it wasn't that fun. And so after a year, I sold the house I owned in town because it was COVID and everything had gone up a ton of value. And so I sold my house and went all in on Yard Guard. So we bought more trucks and started growing. And so this is our 5th year in business. And so we'll do $3.25 million this year. And we have a team of about 20 people.
That's fantastic. So you've got entrepreneurism running through your blood, huh? I mean, you took some serious risks then, man. I mean, what was that? Tell us about that. Were you ever concerned that it wasn't going to work? Did you ever get scared? What kept you going?
I was ever concerned. I mean, it's like worst case scenario, you lose and you move back home or you get a real job or you do something like that. But it's definitely stressful. I sold that business and then I didn't take a paycheck from Yard Guard until the end of last year. And so I just lived off, I lived frugally and reinvested all the money. You get to the end of the year and you're like, okay, well, we broke even on growth and then you put another $100,000. And so it's like, as of last year, the bank of Colin was empty and Yard Guard had to stand on its own.
Wow. That takes courage to hang in there through that. Where did you develop such a confidence in your ability to analyze a situation and make decisions? Where did you build that knowledge and confidence?
I think you just learn from along the way. Like from doing janitorial, it was, how do we get to a size where I can afford management? And that was, from that experience, I learned what was the value in the sale, how do we get to grow, and how do we do that? And it's like, okay, I know I can get to where we were before. And so it's okay, how do we get to $1 million as fast as we can revenue? Because then I know I could hire someone else to help manage the people and get stuff done. And then it's like the next threshold I feel like is $3 million. How do you get $3 million? Because now I can hire, I can actually have a leadership team. Now the company is kind of becoming a real company. And that's where we're at now, is now it's the company's transitioning to standing on its own and evolving, which is really exciting to have. Otherwise, before that, you're kind of accountable for everything. And so you can take time off in the winter and go screw around and go travel, but you got to be here because everyone's working.
Where did you studied finance in college? Where did you learn to envision the various steps of growth with a young startup? You sound as though you had a very, very clear vision of that. Where did you learn that from?
Just from finding people who have done what I want to do, who I think have done what I want to do, and just going and pestering them with questions. In the beginning of when I did janitorial, I had people that I knew that had large companies that I could look up to and learn from. And it's like, how do we act like where we're going to be so I can stop making the mistakes? You can go talk to anyone who's grown anything. They know exactly where the pain points are and where they need, what they need to do to get ready for those points. And so rather than waiting until your hair's on fire and it's a problem, it's like, how do we start planning for it now? And then having people that are invested in your future who you can talk to and visit and learn from it. At the beginning of Yard Guard, we'd go and travel and visit I don't know, 3 to 5 companies every winter and just go learn from them and see what they're doing and take little tips and tricks away. Because there's no secrets. I mean, you read books and you ask questions, but most people are, I think, afraid of asking questions. People want to help. Their spouse is
Yeah.
sick of hearing them talk about work. Like they're happy to go share it with someone else.
Boy, that's it right there is worth this whole podcast. The idea that you go to other people and ask them for their advice, their ideas, and knowing that people like to help people. That's a huge lesson right there. So
And
what
it's like that's how we met each other. I'll see you next week at Elevate. And it's just like,
Yeah,
paying whatever it costs to go there and go be around it and go network and go drink beers and go be around people who are doing the same thing you're doing. There's no
yeah.
point in banging your head on the wall and learning all the stuff by yourself.
Yeah, that's very bright, man. Tell you another thing that I think is one of your natural skills, and I don't know, maybe you learned it, is your confidence. When I work with sales reps, I try to get them to understand that we don't follow people that don't have confidence. In sales, you want someone to follow the belief you have in your company and in your products, and that takes confidence, and you have that. Is that something that you had as a very young child? Did you learn that? How did you get to be so confident?
That's actually a really good question. I don't know. I think I've always had a little bit of it, but I think I was probably allowed to fail when I was younger, and I just it's like you're saying, even people your friends and people you care about is like people who are themselves is who you want to be around. I don't want to be around someone who's trying to pretend they're someone they're not, or someone who doesn't believe in what they're doing, or doesn't want to be who they are. Like it doesn't matter. People are let them be their own weird selves. It's like that's who you want to hang out with. And I
Yep.
don't know if I learned that from. I don't know where I learned that from, but it's like just be yourself. Like, that's
Yeah.
why I like you.
That's
It's like
right.
you are who you are. You're
Yeah.
not trying to be someone you're not. That's who you wanna be around.
Yeah. I'm too old to try to be something I'm not, man.
Totally.
So tell us about some of the great decisions you made with Yard Guard. When you look back and you go, "Boy, that was a home run." Whether it
I
was
don't know.
hiring somebody or, I mean, you've done some things that you must feel really good about. I mean, what are a couple of them?
I think it's hard too to look at those, like, it's okay, what are the things we've done well over the years? It's mostly just hiring good people. It's like the hardest part of anything is people. Figuring out how much nitrogen to put on the ground or what color to make the trucks. It's like it's learning to manage people and to set expectations and to be a good boss and to be a good leader and to help them grow into doing those things too, because that's what they want. But I think something that we've done well is focus on that. I've always thought is whoever has the best frontline workers is going to be the best company. And so how do we invest in our people? That comes from how do we just hire the best people? Because you can go get, everyone's issue. Like you get all these seminars and all these conferences and all these things. And everyone's like, oh, we have all these shitty people and we can't get anyone good and we can't do that. And it's like, this is your biggest problem. What percent of your energy do you spend on it? And it's probably
Yeah.
less than 1%. And so we spend a ton of energy on it and a ton of money. Like I think we spent 30 grand this year on recruiting ads, which is
Wow.
silly to hire. What do we hire? 8 people? Like it's a stupid amount of money. And we need to get that number dialed in, but with 1% of applicants. On the CSR side, it's quite a bit less than that. But on the tech side, this year was a little heavier than that. It was probably 2%. But you know, there's tons of great people out there, but there's tons of people that are half asleep that don't care, that aren't going to show up and do what they want to do. And rather than
Yeah.
trying to get people that don't want to be there to do a good job, find the ones that want to be there and want to grow,
Yeah.
and then everything's easier. And so we've
Yeah.
done that from the beginning of being really careful about who we bring in. And that's
So, it's, we all, I know I've struggled many, many times in trying to cut through the resume, which is typically full of fluff, and really getting to the heart and soul of who a person really is. You've talked about you like authenticity in people and you want to be themselves and to know what they want and be happy. How do you in the interview process identify who a person really is?
well for us I have a small piece of this. I have the final interview just because I like to talk to people and get to know them. But Sydney does the mass majority of this. She
Okay.
has an assistant that sifts through resumes, and then maybe 25% go to her. She'll have a first call with them, and if they sound qualified and they want to move forward, then maybe 5% come into the building, and then they'll interview with whoever they're going to be working with. A lot of times we'll have them interview with a field manager that we're hiring for their team, and so they get to know them. And we try to make things we try to make things, we want to ask questions, learn from them, but try to make it casual. And like, we'll intentionally stage, oh, you should get to know this person while they're here. And then while they're in the shop walking around, it's like, oh, we'll go have, I'll have Knox go show you a truck, and then they can go walk around. It seems unplanned, but then have a casual conversation about what the job's like and ask them questions and get the person comfortable. Then it is the first interview. We'll do one with their future manager, or who we think the future manager is, and then I'll do the last one. And then I like to just have a casual conversation, get to know who they are and what they like to do and here and what their goals are, and try to set a foundation of like, we want you to do well in life. And I want to make sure you're going to be a good fit here, because if you're not going to be successful, why do you want to work here?
Yeah.
And figure out what their goals are, and letting them know is like, no matter what you want to do, is like, you're going to come here and you want to learn skills and you want to move up. And so what are those skills, and acknowledging they probably won't be here forever, and what do they want to learn while they're here? And it's funny what people say after they get more comfortable and they're around a place longer.
Yeah. When they open up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy, but it's a lot better to do it in the front end than to deal with it later.
Important. Yeah. So what's your favorite interview question? Oh, cool. You're very process oriented, aren't you?
Yeah. Otherwise I won't remember what to do. It's like, these are easy. Just read this list.
Well, that's awesome.
So I like to hear, I ask them about their story. I guess that'd be the biggest thing. It's like, I have questions on here that I like to ask, but if I ask their story and I ask it in chronological order, you can't lie. You get a resume that says you do this, but it's like, oh, why'd you leave that job? Why'd you decide you want to go to this? And just like having them talk through a history of themselves. But then on here, the best one's probably, if you're to stay here long term, what will be most important to you? Like trying to learn, like, what do they value? Where do they want to be? Things like that.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. So what I'm getting so far is you are an entrepreneur through and through. You're confident. You're not afraid to make decisions, and you're process oriented. And one of your success actions has been hiring the right people.
Totally.
All right. Now tell us about some of your screw ups, bad decisions that you made. We've all done it. What's a couple of those that listeners can, oh, I'm getting close to doing that. I better not.
I'm trying to think, if I had to pick top ones, it's probably not firing fast enough. It's like, in the beginning, you're seasonal, you only have 2 months left, and this person's they're not performing as well. You don't want to hold them accountable because you just want to finish the season and deal with it. But it's like, then it hurts the whole team. As we get better, it's like, how do we set better expectations? And a trap that we're kind of still in, that we're trying to get out of, is we make this a place where everyone wants to work. And so then you get these C players who we thought they were B players, that we were going to hopefully coach into A players, and they're a C player, and then we coach them into being a B, and we should have just held a higher standard at the beginning and help them find a job where they're going to be more successful. But instead we kept them, and now they're doing a B job, and they're always going to do a B job, and they're not going to move up, and they're not going, but now we're stuck with them off job. We did a better job of setting the expectation at the beginning and continuing to and checking in more. But it's hard when you care about people. You want to see them do well, but
yeah,
they'd probably do better if they work somewhere else. They're going to do better in the first place.
So are you big on setting performance criteria and having regular reviews to discuss an individual's performance to goals?
We don't do a great job at that.
Okay.
We do a good job of, no one should manage more than 5 or 6 people. And so we have smaller groups. And that's been a big change that's helped a lot. And so like a field manager will have 4 technicians, 5 technicians that report to them. And so each morning they have a scheduled one-on-one. They have a 15, 20-minute conversation rather than checking in. And that's been huge, because then you're frustrated about this one stupid thing. And then instead of being frustrated all day by your truck by yourself, you tell your person about it, and they talk about it, and that stuff goes on. And we're getting better this year. I've been so afraid from the beginning of, I want to offer a superior service, and I want customers to be happy, and I want us to have a good reputation, that we haven't pushed on production. And in the beginning, it wasn't a problem. And then every year that went by, you got more technicians, more people, and it gets diluted. I don't spend as much time with them. They don't have someone coaching them as much. And that was a big change this year for us, is going to having smaller groups and more field management, and our production's up 30%. It's
oh, wow,
drastic.
That's serious.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was falling. Like that's what it's something we wanted to fix. And so this year they set their own goals for what they want to hit. And next year we're going to start implementing more minimum standards and having to like work them up as they get hired. Is, okay, you're starting it here, and by the first month we want you to be here, then here, then here, and then we can help coach them up or out. But we haven't pushed on it well enough, and I like that, but we need to fix it. And so I'm more in the beginning. I have a good friend that always says that he had a company that they were all performance pay. And after 20 years, he hated going to work. It was like everyone was out looking for themselves. No one wanted to help each other. No one went to training. No one was a customer. No one cared about the equipment. No one cared about anything. So, and it's hard because when you're early on, it's the easiest thing to do. Pay them a percent of what they do, and you solve the biggest problem, which is people getting shit done. But all the soft things that you can't measure get hurt. They don't take care of the stuff. They don't care about each other. They don't care about your customer. They don't maintain their equipment. They don't bring the trash can in for the customer. It's like they never go above and beyond for anything. And customers don't usually complain. And so now you slowly get higher cancels, you have bad reputation, and now you're the same commodity service that most people offer. And so he always said that performance pay is an excuse for weak management. So if you don't have a plan of having strong management, then do that. It's way easier. It solves your biggest problem, and you can deal with the other problems because you probably don't have hard conversations in the first place. So just let them kind of work out themselves if they can, and then deal with the rest.
So
but-
as you're moving someone up, specifically a technician, what are some of the steps, the rungs on the ladder that you take them through to get them to advance and be better? What is the definition of being better, and what does that look like?
Well, I guess there's two sides of it, right? There's the actual output they're doing of production, and you can see them improve by getting more efficient. It's mostly the uptime, the downtime in the shop. It's like, are you messing around in the morning? Or are you leaving immediately after the morning huddle? Or, how much time are you spending messing around your truck? Or how much time you spend going to the gas station, even though there's already gas here at the shop? Like, those are things that increase production. But then there's the other side of how are you increasing your knowledge base so you can help the customer better? Like, we have a tech advancement program that our staff has worked on where, you come on as a tech in training, and then you have to pass some learning to get to a tech one. And we want you to get out of tech and training in the first 45 to 60 days. Because if you don't know that stuff, you can't help the customer. The customer goes, why is my lawn of this brown spot? And you go, I don't know. It's like, what are they paying you for? They might as well pay someone who's a commodity to come do it. And so, and then they can advance to a tech two. And then we have some more, and we have internal quizzing that goes on with that. And so what they're doing is, there's things that they go get sign-offs on from any of the field managers, and then not their manager has to sign off on it. And so one of the other ones does. And so they go back and they do quizzing in the morning, and, they all do their groups a little differently, but a lot of them will have each day of the week, they have someone present something else to the team of like, okay, go present a weed, or go present a fungus issue, or go present something on a plant. And then they have them talk about it, how they would explain it to a customer. And that's helped. It's like everyone wants to learn and grow and learn new things. Like if you're out there just doing repetitive manual labor all day, that's not fun. Like the art is to learn new things.
And there's so much to learn with agronomy, right? The different types of grasses, the seasonality, the seed, the sunshine, the rain. I mean, there's just so much to know.
And and they build skills. Like they all get more confident in public speaking because now they're presenting to a team. And they're in a small group, and sometimes they'll in a Monday morning meeting, it's the whole team, and now they get to talk in front of 20 people. And it's cool to watch them grow over time. Like they just get better at it and get more comfortable. Like no one likes talking in front of people, but everyone gets better at it.
So does that make you feel good when you see a person that joins your company with a certain skill set, and then over time you see them becoming stronger? Is it insides that make you feel good?
Totally. That's the fun part. Like you want to see them grow and do well.
Yeah. So that's probably a tip for a young person starting a company, or at maybe they've had it for a year or two, but having that joy of helping another grow, because that's very rewarding.
And investing in your people. Like you invest in them, they'll invest in you, and they'll stay and they'll take care of stuff. It's like same thing. It's like it's hard when you're busy to train someone. And so if you can plan ahead and train them when you're not as busy, then they can take it off your back later. But when it's hard to get out of chaos when you're in chaos.
Yeah, you're in survival mode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said earlier, you're running around with your hair on fire. Yeah, doing a Richard Pryor, running around with your hair on fire. Hey, so tell us a little bit about what advice would you give to scale, to grow? What are some of the pillars to pay attention to when you want to get to that next level? Because that's not easy either, is it?
No, and I think a lot of this goes to like basics. Like I can list a couple things, but it's like branding. Like everyone drives white trucks. Like go spend the money and wrap your trucks so that they're different, so they stand out. And most companies buy those tiny little signs. And it's like, oh, what a great idea. I saved a nickel. But the neighbors don't see them. Like you want to drive on the road and see all the signs in the same exact spot, in the same way in the driveway, all facing the road. So you drive down the road, you see, okay, yard guard was here. Or whoever your company is, like make your stuff look good and hold everyone to a higher standard. And then it's like the little stuff is focus on what you're good at. Like I have so many, you try to help so many people that are growing up that are in, they start a landscaping company or doing something. You see everyone does the same thing. I want to offer all these things so I can be everyone to everyone. And then it's like, then you're running 7 businesses. You do landscape install, you do mowing, you do lawn care, you do pest control, idlers, and like, that's not scalable. The owner can barely do those things all well. You can want to repeat them. And so it's like focusing on what matters and just setting a high standard to do a good job. Like, it doesn't matter how much money you spend on marketing. Most of our customers come from referrals. Like, and you want to buy as many customers as you can. And every year, I'd say 60 to 70% of our new customers, I have to go pull the exact number, but I know by categories, comes from customer referral or industry referral. Like go meet all the mowing companies in town. You can run business and they get to know you personally and they know your reputation, the quality of work that you guys do, and then they're going to refer you customers, so you refer them customers. We've talked about doing something where we could have a paid thing for leads or find some way to be able to spend more money on Google Ads because we send the leads out, but it's like, when we just do honest business and meet people that do the same thing, they trust you and they look up to your company and then they want to, it's like just the
It's
basic
kind of like
stuff.
grassroots. It's like guerrilla marketing in a sense. Establishing relationships with people that can refer business to you, and right? Is that kind of
Yeah.
your
And
model?
how do you do one to many? 1-to-1, you go knock on a door and sell a customer, but it's like you go meet a vendor and they have customers every day. That's better than 1-to-1. Or,
Yeah.
you say you are going to do door to door. Like I do think door to door works, but, train the door to door guy and then have him go and do it. But I think
Mhm.
the biggest thing is just doing less and doing it well. Run and do a bunch of shit and then you're bad at all of it. It's like, how do you focus on
Yeah.
do less things and do them well?
Mhm. Mhm. Interesting. So have you segmented your buyer in any way? Affluent neighborhoods? Have you segmented that at all, or not really? You kind of
It's hard. We live in an expensive place, so the average house in Bozeman is over $800,000. So if you own a
okay.
home, you can probably pay us $100 to come do your lawn care every time.
Yeah.
But I agree with that. We see the most growth in new neighborhoods because you're new to the home or new to the service. Like you moved into the house or you built the house or you bought it or how, then you're excited. Like when they move in, they're excited to do this. It doesn't matter how bad, I mean, it does matter, but people will keep the same poor service for so long because they just think it's all going to be poor. Whereas when they're new, they're excited to go and buy things and make things better. And, we see that with a lot of stuff. And so we do the best in new neighborhoods. And so you do all the stuff everyone does, but you can send mailers, you can target ads, we put door hangers out, you could even put corner signs out. Like, how do you dominate the new neighborhoods? Who bought one of those houses, the surf might look good now because they put sod in last fall, but within a year it's not going to look good anymore. And how do you get it so that you just dominate those neighborhoods? Because they're more like, we've never done well with like they moved new to the home because it depends on the condition of the lawn when you get there. We've tried mailing too, we've tried marketing to customers when the house sold, and we've never done well with it. But the new neighborhoods we do well
Interesting. Why do you think that
in.
is?
And because you just bought the house, you're excited about it. You want it to look nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you lived there for 40 years and you have the same shitty service for 40 years, you're like, whatever. At least they show up most of the time.
So, I find that, I listen to a lot of calls and coach people in different markets. And something I'm seeing consistently is that buyers really have this perception that all lawn care companies are fundamentally interchangeable. They spray, they put down fertilizer. You go on the website and you see a beautiful home with green grass and a child and a father, mom, dog. The dog is always there. And so it's really hard for them. And then they call and they speak with a sales rep who's just very transactional. There's no like human connection being made. So they just default the price. Do you find that? Is that just me, or what's your take on?
Totally. And I think if you make it about price, then it's about price. Like if you're
Yeah.
selling, it's top of mind. We sell holiday lights now. So it's top of mind for holiday lights. Like, are you selling linear feet of holiday lights, or are you selling them an experience that they want to have with their family this holidays? It's
Oh,
the same with lawn
beautiful.
care. Is like, are you listening to them? Are you asking questions? Are you solving their needs? Or are you selling? Do you believe in your cheapest package, and that's what you sell them? And so
Yep.
it's like, and we see that. Like you'll go, we'll have a new CSR sell a customer on our minute. It's cold here, so we have a short season, so we do 5 applications, and we'll allow 3 times for like commercial properties and stuff. And you'll have a new CSR that sells them on a 3-time lawn program. and they don't ask them about anything else with the property. And then, you go out there the first time and they go, hey, I still have weeds. Well, they have them in their driveway because we never asked them about their driveway. Or they have in landscape beds. Or they have, now the customer is upset because we didn't sell them stuff they wanted. Like, what a shitty situation is that? And then once they get started, just like the customers that have the bad service that doesn't change, we sold them the wrong thing. And now we're stuck giving them the wrong thing because now they're used to paying for this thing. And it's hard to sell them things later. It's like when they're already buying, they're happy to buy more stuff. And so, then you get stuck with them.
They have a vision. They want it taken care of. They don't want to buy stuff. They want their vision realized.
Yeah, they want to have a good experience.
Yeah. The experience. Yeah, we live in an experiential society in America. When you go out to a restaurant, you go to the car dealership or your dentist, you want to have a wonderful experience, and that's so important. So you talk with a lot of other owners, and you're very very good networker. What trends are you seeing in the industry right now? Whether it's related to economy, is the current economy, prices are rather high with groceries and other things. Are you seeing people cutting back at all? What are you seeing?
We're a little insulated here, but I mean, customers are still buying. Like we haven't seen anything change. We're still selling things as always.
Good.
I mean, as an industry, you see a lot of consolidation. Like a lot of companies are getting all wrapped up.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And so, and that I think it's going to continue to happen. Prices will from that continue to go up, but it's also a good thing. Like it's easy to compete with the True Greens of the world, the low cost companies, the commodity companies. Like True Green gets a bad rap. It really depends on who's running the company. But it's like, that's the example of the commodity company. And so there's becoming a lot more commodity companies. It's like, that's their model. You buy the business, you want to keep it operating for 3 years so you can turn around and sell it again. So you invest in mediocre leadership and you do enough marketing to keep income coming in, you cut costs. And when you cut costs, you make it a shittier service. And so it's easy to compete with bad service. You don't have to charge that much more to give a better service and to give a better experience. And so I think it's going to be even more of a division between the commodity low cost and the better experience. And it's like, that's where all the stuff's going. Google wants to make everything exactly the same. If they could, they'd have you buy through Google at the same price and you'd be a commodity.
Yeah. You think the gap between commodity and quality is going to become greater?
I bet it's going to be huge. Yeah. Because now what's going to happen is low cost is going to go even more low cost. There's already companies that are having bots call you and sell you aeration. Like, that's not a good experience. No one wants to have that. Does it pencil in the short term? Totally. Are companies going to do it because it pencils in the short term? For sure they are. And it's going to save them money because people are expensive.
Yeah.
But good people don't cost that much more than bad people. And so, like, invest in good people and charge the customer what it's going to cost to do it right. And then you can compete on that. I wouldn't want to compete on the lowest price. You go chase to the bottom. It's like, how do you cut every corner possible until there's no corners left to cut?
It sucks all the fun out of it, right?
Yeah. And it's bad for the customer. It's bad for your team.
Yeah.
It's bad for the community. It's bad for everything.
Yeah. What do you think about this potential click to buy, where somebody can go to your website, they can size their lawn, and they're given a price and they can click to buy right there? What's your opinion of that? Because some people are talking about doing that, right? I mean, you can do that.
I was against it for a long time because you want to give them a better experience, but some people don't. They just they want it off their mind. As soon as they buy, they're done. It's like all this stuff clutters your mind. Like once you're done with it, you're done with it. And so we did add Service Bot this year. It doesn't work it doesn't convert that well. We decided the common ground we were going to find is, okay, we'll offer it and then we'll just call them the next day. Like all the stuff that you don't want to do on the phone is all done with. Like you have their credit card, you have their address, the lawn's measured, all these things. And then they might have signed up for something where you can call them and talk through it and ask discovery questions and get to know them. And then, we can send them a thank you card after they sign up and then get them routed for a service. And so give them the experience, maybe save the phone call, save half. And if you never get on the phone, at least they still bought. But so I just wish the software is better.
You did try a software package where someone could size and buy. You should try it. And what was the result? Was it a good result?
I think the software has room to grow because most people get halfway through it and get frustrated, and then you call them the next day anyway.
Okay.
Some of them get through it, and then we call them anyway, but most of them don't get through it because it's just not it's not easy enough. And so I think that stuff's going to keep getting better. But it's like, how do you find the way to meet them where they want to be? Like people don't want to talk on the phone anymore; they want to text you. And so how do we text them more and still give them an experience and have a relationship? Because they want to have a relationship, and so they can't.
Do you think there'll be a certain percentage of people that like you said, they're just they're predisposed to doing business with technology. They're fine with it. They don't want to talk to anybody. And then there's the other people that have questions and they want to have a dialogue and get a vibe and whatnot.
Yeah.
What you have a sense of looking into the future, what that might look like what percentage of buyers will be okay with click to buy and which percentage want to have a conversation?
I bet most of them wanna click to buy if the software worked good enough.
Okay.
Like, I would buy that way. Like, how do I give you my credit card and never talk to you again? And then you get the relationship with the technician. Like, they get a text on the way with a picture of the person who's coming. They see him coming over and over again. Do you wish you had a conversation the first time? Totally. But if we could make the experience better to do it over that, we should just do it that way. But how do you ask the discovery questions? How do you show them the packages? How do you so I would have to click through things. Okay, what is your frustration right now? You have to ask the right questions. What
Yeah.
do you want most? Do you want good grass? Do you want to not be embarrassed? Like why'd you call it? Like what are all those things? And then it can help funnel them to a package and then go, here are your options. Here's your good, better, best. Or it's just harder to do. And that's just going to get better.
Do you
There's
think that
people that are
that
always going to
will
call.
do you
Just like those
think
people that are
that'll
always going to send you a damn check.
Yeah. You think that'll drive a focus on price, that click to buy concept? 'Cause it won't it be
Maybe.
difficult for the person to feel a vibe of the company? Isn't that just going down the road? You talk about the companies looking a lot alike now. Well, man, they'll really look alike when they go that route, won't they?
And I think you're right. I think if you give them, it's kind of like when they call. Like usually the first company to answer the phone that they can trust, they just buy with.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to get the lead first and all your messaging is good and they align with it and they see what you're doing and
Yeah.
they want to buy it, I think they're just going to buy it. Could you do a little better on the phone? Totally. But I think the good buyers are happy with that and will do that. But it's like, how
Happy
do you
with
get
what? A personal
happy with
touch or click to
happy with
buy?
doing it over click to buy? You get it, then it's even more important to get that lead first. And, you don't talk about trends. Leads get more expensive every year. And so how do you get those leads to there without paying $500
Yeah.
out of Google ad to get them?
So if your competition is using the same software click to buy and your company looks like their company because the graphics are going to look good, you're going to put some money in some great graphics. People are going to focus on price and the prices are just going to keep going down and down and down. I mean, how is that sustainable? I don't understand that.
I think it's gonna be harder. But then if they get the service and it's bad, maybe they'll leave. If you can get referrals always buy. If they're clicking to buy, but
Yeah.
they're going to our website because your neighbor uses them. But I agree with you. It's gonna be challenging. It's like, how do you focus more on relationships? How do you can make things all look pretty, but if it feels inorganic and bland,
Yeah.
then it's like,
To
did
be
you have the
continued.
same company make the website that for everyone, or
Yeah.
did you add some flair to it? But I agree with you.
To be continued, man. It's hard to say where all that's going. I mean, it's already a challenge to stand out, and then if you go to using that software, it's like really as you alluded to, I think that the burden will be on the shoulders of the technician
Mm,
to
I agree.
differentiate and create the warm and fuzzy relationship. It's a shift. You're going to eliminate salespeople with that. Now the technician has more responsibility to create the bond. I think.
And I think it's already that way. It's like whoever has the best technicians wins. It's like whoever can get the best frontline employees because they don't know the company and they don't know the person they interact with, whether it was the CSR or it's the technician, they think of
Yeah.
them as the company. And so how do we build
Yeah.
those relationships better? Because that's what's going to keep them to stay. It's easy to fire a company. It's hard to fire a friend.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, I gotta write that down. That's a quote right there, a Colin quote. "It's hard to fire a friend." All right. Well, this has been great. Any final words of wisdom that you wanna share with our millions of people that are gonna be watching this? Because it will be millions. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Any final words of wisdom? If you're gonna run a successful lawn care company, this is what you need to do.
I think just treat people well. Like do the right thing. You can cut corners for a short period of time, but it catches up with you. You wonder why your staff are stealing shit. Probably because they learned it from you.
Yeah, that's a little scary. Yeah. Yep, so people, you're one that puts a great deal of attention on culture, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, someone I was talking to the other day, I can't remember who it was, but I remember what they said. They said, it's important for us to create a great experience for the customer. And we're talking about process. And this person said they think it's equally important to create a good experience for the employee to utilize and follow the process. Because if the process is uncomfortable, unethical, whatever the case may be, and the employee isn't comfortable with it, well, we're not going to get a good experience with the buyer. And I never really thought of it in that way. I always thought it was all about the customer with the process. Well, the reps need to be comfortable and enjoy it too, right?
Totally. And how do you show them? Because they don't, people only know what they know. And so if you give them a good experience, they're coming on and, wow, look at all the communication I'm getting through this whole interview process. Look at how everything is set up and organized. Like every time we take hiring more seriously, we get better people. But I actually think it's just like they get to see what good is and then get better expectations. And they give that to your customer. How you set things up, how you communicate with them, what you hold people accountable to is what the customer gets. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's all the same thing. It's like how they do
Interesting.
it is how they give it to the next person.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Any final words of wisdom?
You should talk to Duane for sales coaching.
Okay. I like that. All right. Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with our millions of audience members. I appreciate it. It's awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Duane. It was fun talking to you.
All right. We'll talk later.
This is the passion of Cashin.